Hello and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu, Soni, host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive panel special edition on International Women's Day 2022. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is my pleasure to invite our esteemed panelists for today's discussion. We have Anushree Srivastava, the global strategic consultant and an innovator in technology and branding. Anushree is a specialist in monetization of technology and services. She's a startup enabler and has worked in various markets, that is including domestic and global. Anushree delivers successful growth to organizations, outcomes through identifying and developing strategic growth in various projects, business models, and new technologies. Anushree is focused on real challenges and creating incredible things. Anushree, it's a pleasure to have you today on this panel, and I'm really looking forward to having an exciting conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm excited as well.
Our next speaker is Scindia Balasingh. Scindia is a passionate technology marketer with rich experience in partner marketing and is currently heading the global technology partnerships marketing in Freshworks. Under her leadership, the ISV marketing team has emerged as one of the upcoming revenue engines at Freshworks. Prior to joining Freshworks, she was the head of marketing at Redington India Limited, dealing with IT product lines. She has been recognized as top 20 women catalyst in the Indian IT ecosystem by SME channels. And recently, she got the Women Super Achiever Award from the World Women Leadership Organization. Scindia is also a proud owner of Tech Marketer 2021 Award by CXO TV and a CMO Leadership Award. Top 100 Asia's Powerful Leaders. She is the host for MOV Lead Hers podcast and also an active speaker for a lot of podcast events and industry interviews. Also, she is known as a motivational and industry speaker and guest lecturer across colleges and corporates. Scindia, it is an absolute pleasure to have you today. Our next speaker is Jyoti Jaiswal, the vertical head of information technology at BayLeaf HR Solutions. Jyoti has 10 plus years of rich experience working on various brands, and she has also been an entrepreneur herself. Jyoti has her domain is in the recruitment space, and she has been working in the last 10 years helping a lot of organizations in the similar domain. Jyoti, an absolute pleasure to have you today. But great, Jyoti, Scindia, and Anushree for joining us on this panel, the special edition of International Women's Day celebration. And we are here on this panel to celebrate women, to share perspective, learn from each other. So thank you once again for joining us. And on today's session, I would want to begin with putting across my first question to Jyoti. Jyoti, what progress have you seen on women's peace and security in the past few years?
First of all, thank you, Khushbu, for asking me this question. Okay, I really feel that progress, without women is not possible, irrespective of any field. Okay, and women are the central caretakers of the family, and everyone is affected if they are excluded from the peace building. Okay, and they are one of the most powerful agent, and they are one of the most powerful voice who can bring the change in the world. Okay, and in terms of security, yes, we have seen many changes, but yes, there are many yet changes has to come. Various security program, awareness program are organized by various NGOs point to, especially for women's security. And on the primary level, I feel that in schools, martial arts and self-defense should be a compulsory subject, should be made, especially for the girls, so that this seed is inculcated right from the childhood. So, they feel secure right from the age they step in the school till the time they come out. So all this 15 to 16 years, they know once they step out, what step they have to take if they come into that situation. So that's a perfect age when we can groom them. So that's my personal view on that.
Right. Perfect. I think very rightly said. These are the 2 points. We've seen progress, but there is still a lot that can be done. And I think that it's a continuous process to look at various things that are happening around and how we can actually equip ourselves with a lot of new learnings. Great. My next question is for you, Scindia. We have seen that you've been leading podcast series, that is Lead Hers. You've been interacting with a lot of women across all regions, across the globe, in fact. So why do you support women's empowerment and gender equality? What is your perspective? What are your thoughts behind doing this?
Thanks for asking this question again, Khushbu. But to answer this, I have to go way back, in fact, from my childhood. So I am a woman of more questions always for everything. So I was so fond of Cinderella dolls in my childhood. So when my mother was narrating the story of Cinderella, the first question triggered in me is, why always a prince should come and save the princess? So is it like every time you have to wait and women are more vulnerable and someone has to save you all the time? That question was there in me. So when I started asking these questions to my parents, fortunately I'm the only daughter and I have very supportive parents, and they were so glad that I asked these questions, and they were insisting on how financial independence is important irrespective of the gender, to take care of yourself, to manage the uncertainties the life can throw at you. But when I was seeing my friends' life or cousins' life, all the time I have always seen them saying that if they are girls, okay, learn cooking, learn cleaning, or tomorrow don't put us in front of your father-in-law, mother-in-law. They should not come and blame us for not raising you properly. But when I see they talk to their boy child, they will be saying that, hey, you have to become a pilot or doctor or engineer. That itself was like, I was wondering why that thing has to happen. And similarly, while we are playing also, for women, cooking toys, or dolls to take care of, teaching them or something like that. For men, it will be like flight, train, doctor set, and so on. So, but my parents always asked me that I always will be asking for a doctor set or something on the train or something. They will be buying that for me. I always used to wonder why this has to come into place. So maybe that is the way I have always seen that has to eradicate from the childhood and inculcate in the society. The small change, if every family makes it, that itself will be a big thing. That's why I support, because since my parents supported that, I'm able to do whatever I could do, and long way to go. That's a different story. But still, I was having that path. But a lot of my friends who are much more talented, I have seen them not pursuing their dream only because of this gender inequality. So according to me, the gender equality happens, everyone will have a chance to take their direction towards their dream destination, even though they are landing or not landing is a different situation. But today, because of this inequality, they are not even able to take that first step towards their dream destination. That's why I support this.
Very rightly said. And I think great initiatives, India. Perfect. My next question is for Anushree. Anushree, have you ever been in a situation that made you think that women and power are two incompatible concepts?
Okay, I think I will definitely agree to this because let's say how I define women as a source, right?
Yeah.
Be it any paradigm, be it in a personal space, professional space. The moment you rise up in your houses, you get everybody active around you, right? And likewise, I feel it's the same for the professional space. And the power, I think it's very perspective. It is denotional. Like for some, it may be just a chair or a position in an organization. For some, it may be money. For some, it may be both, right? But for me personally, if you ask me what is power, it's the ability in your mind to think of something and to get it in execution in reality. So in my past 23 years of professional experience with IRC2C, government, startups, in Solutions Global, and a lot of other companies that I'm consulting currently as well, I feel I'm bringing technology as solutions and impacting lives of people. And that's what is power to me. And I definitely feel, being a woman, I had faced a lot of challenges in both a professional and personal space, but I took them upon myself, and I try to mentor all the women also around me to imbibe all those challenges, but yet go ahead in their lives and to achieve the goal, So that's what it is for me. For me, it is the women who are in power, and they themselves are the power to bring that change around them.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Jyoti, my next question is, what did you dream of doing when you were a little girl?
Very truly speaking, Khushbu, I was a person who was very much, against the bias thing. And the most influential thing in our society is the gender bias. As it is said by Scindia, girls can do this, boy can do this, what boys can do and girls cannot do. So most of the time, I entered into a heated conversation with someone. Why can't, when the boy can do, why can't I? So in the summer vacation, whenever we used to go and play out, the elders used to always advise, you are a girl, you sit at home, do cooking, he's a boy, he can go out and play cricket and everything. No, if he can play cricket, I can also play cricket. I can do that. Okay, I can do that. So I was always in search of a platform where a woman empowerment should come up, a woman should support a woman. And I literally feel that one thing should happen, and it can happen only when in the family a woman starts supporting a woman, because after all, charity begins at home.
Right.
So, that is the thing what I always required. And touch wood, I'm really lucky that I'm in a family where one woman supports the another woman. And I really feel that it should happen everywhere. So that is my dream. And I'm lucky that I'm getting a platform where I can be vocal about this thing.
Awesome. Awesome, Jyoti. Scindia, same question to you as well. What did you dream of doing when you were a little girl?
So I used to, get a lot of dummy telephones. I'll set up my own office, like in the age of 7 years, that was my favorite playtime. So I will have my own table, own phone, and I'll put all my dolls as my team members. Maybe I don't know where I got the inspiration, because of my uncle, my father, I don't know where I saw, but every time that was my favorite playtime. So I'll be I will have my own office. That's my dream from the childhood. I was marching towards that all the time.
Wow, and I'm sure you're doing that already. So you're living your dream. Nice. Anushree, the same question goes to you as well. What did you dream of doing when you were a little girl?
Yeah, so I think as a little girl, or anybody would actually really look up to their parents. So my dad was a guy in civil construct, ex-government, and he's a yoga practitioner, a very humble person. My mother, a go-getter, and in spite of being a housewife, juggle between all five of us. We have 5 sisters, so having to manage a balance of life. So I kind of wanted to ape them, both of them, and I'm currently an amalgamation of both of them. So not particularly any kind of dream per se, but I would always wanted to be like them, like sometimes like my father, sometimes like my mother.
Wow, right. Nice. Great. Scindia, what progress have you seen on gender equality in your life and work in these years? And while you've also interacted with a lot of women, what have been the responses and how have you seen this changing?
See, I always say there are 3 pillars any female who wanted to pursue their career will face in whatever the field they are in. One is family and personal barrier. And second is, societal barrier. And third is workplace barrier. So for me, luckily, my parents' family supported me always. So I never had that barrier. But the societal barrier was high. So when a girl should not be very aggressive, they never told me assertive, rather than it has been told like you're being very aggressive. Or, you are not concentrating on your kid or husband, rather than you're preferring a travel job, which is not a nice thing to do. You are being so selfish and so obsessed, self-obsessed with your self-branding or your this thing. You're not really spending time with your family. This all, unfortunately or fortunately, never told by my family members, but always neighbors, relatives, even in the workplace, I have seen that. So I have been fighting that for years, and workplace also I had tough time, because a lot of in my career, most of the time went in working in the conventional companies. where
Right.
women were looked down, and women were not put as a functional head because they will go on maternity leave or they will focus on their kids. So a lot of my energy went on making them to feel that I'm equal to you. But when I moved to Freshworks, that journey, I realized only one thing: when a platform for women has been set with equality, when the level playing field is already there, you will have so much of bandwidth for you to focus on what you have to do. And that last 3 years, I'm seeing my trajectory extremely great, because all my efforts are not going to convince someone that I'm equal, or please listen to me, put my ideas in the first. Rather than here, instead of aggressive, they are calling me as assertive, proactive, and they're giving me the growth. So in this thing, I'm seeing a lot of workplace now, new age technology workplaces are making this initiative, diversity initiative, as a culture rather than being on the papers, but still a long way to go on the conventional industries. So for me, I'm happy that today we all are sitting and talking. We are having a journey, and a lot of women leaders I have interviewed. There are progress, but real progress and the real destination is when we all need not sit like this and talk about women equality and diversity. It should become a norm and natural thing, right? Women, it's your responsibility. See, one thing, if I have to quote, everybody says, oh, being a girl, she takes care of her parents to me. I'll never feel good about it, because like any children has to take care of parents, irrespective of being a female. Why it is so special when female does it mean that they should not do? Are you expecting that? So if those stereotypes and biases get breaks and it becomes a new normal, then the real progress happening. Otherwise, at least we are towards that direction now.
Correct. Very, very rightly said. And I think it's at this point of time, we're still at a stage where we are, directly or indirectly differentiating, women and men, and talking about it is also challenge. But I think at this point of time, we are still yet to reach a level where we don't see a challenge of equality, and we don't have to talk about it, and we all are at the same level. I think it's still far, but I'm sure we are progressing.
Correct.
Can I add a few lines?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I personally feel, when you ask in a personal space, as a woman, I eat, drink, and rejoice as per my own likes. I choose to be happy. I choose my work. I choose my partners. And I'm very powerful in that perspective. I would want every woman to do that. Choose your life partner, choose your work, choose your children to be happy, and the life becomes phenomenal. Likewise, in professional space, if you feel there is bias around you, which will definitely exist, people are there to pull you down. But if you need to surface up and you need to work on the success ladder, you need to give it a pushback to the people around you that, look, women are just a gender. It's a gender. But you do not assess a person based on his or her gender.
Right.
It's your task, it's your skill, it's the opportunity which you jump at and you give to that particular company or a person in life that actually reverberates, right?
Right.
Somewhere I feel both women are actually surfacing up, because we as community are standing for each other. The way we are talking today, we're talking about the subject matter. Our voices will reverberate in our spaces wherever we are there, right?
True.
That's what we really want to add. So I think it's there, and we have to face it, and we have to go ahead and we have to be very tactful.
Correct. True, Anushree. Awesome. Jyoti, my question to you is, what does International Women's Day mean to you? And you've said it as well, that you really look forward to women empowerment. So what does it really mean to you?
I will just start with this. Nari asya samajasya kushila vastukara asati. Nari is the perfect architect of the society. Okay. For me, Women's Day is to see the achievement, the success, and how far the women have came all the way. Okay. And moreover, it's a gentle reminder to everyone. It's not for men to women. It's not only talk the talk, but also walk to walk. And that is working towards, on the workspace, gender equality.
Right.
Also, I feel this is a very special day. Being a woman, we celebrate the contribution, that is done by each of us, the women, what we contribute to the society. Okay. And also towards the gender equality, how we are progressing, how the things are done and how the things has to be done.
Right.
This is this what International Women's Day means to me.
Wow. Great. I love the message that you shared. I think it's nice. Anushree, Women's Day empowerment moment that has inspired you.
I would say there are so many. I'm standing on 42, but I'll just quote a few. I think last COVID, I got hurt in my house, I remember, and my daughter was 16 now. And my chin went split apart and I was bleeding. Of course, it happened to an incident. And my daughter came running to me and then she said, she just grabbed some money from her purse, maybe 2,000 rupees, and she said, Mama, let's go to the hospital. She dragged me in the car and I was bleeding, In that point of time, your conscience mind is not there, right? So she took me to the hospital, got my stitches done, and I was back home, safe and sound. And that incident just struck upon me that a girl, 16-year-old, could actually stand for a woman, right? So if she can, then maybe I can do the same for all the women around me, all the girls around me. And we all have our own challenges, right? It could be emotional impact, it could be professional impact, and we just get stuck on it. We are stuck on that incident for eons. We build certain rule sets behind them that, look, my boss did not like me today, so I should not be behaving like this, right? And somewhere we have to break those barriers. The day we learn to break those barriers, then we become unstoppable, and then a lot of phenomena occurs in our life, and that's what has been happening, Khushbu. So, and there are moments, of course, I remember in my government days, maternity leave was not there. There was no such process. I stood up for myself. I wanted those maternity government gazetted leave, but I ran through a process in government, got it done, not only for myself, but all the women employees in that government. So till date, even if anybody avails that leave, she thanks me, ma'am, this is because of you, the rule set has been laid for all the women employees. So I realize even if you fight for yourself, in turn, you're laying a path for all the women who will ape you, who will be inspired by you to take the path onto themselves and their lives. And that's what it is for me.
Wow, great. Scindia? Yeah, sorry.
Khushbu, I would like to add to
Anushree.
This inspiration thing. I was inspired by Arunima Simha, who was thrown out of the running train, and she was the first female ampute to climb Mount Everest on 1st May 2013. I really feel, God has blessed us with top to bottom everything. When people like her can do many things, why can't we?
Correct.
So they are really to say, and also in the Olympics, we can see para athletes, they are winning gold, bronze, silver. They're coming in many categories.
Right.
So they are the real inspirations.
True.
That's very true.
Very true. There's so many inspirations around us. In fact, we get inspired from every woman that we see. In fact, honestly, for me, I get inspired by every human being that I see who's doing better in some or the other way. So, including my younger brother, my elder sister. So it's always there, right? You see your mother, your father. You always get inspired. So, and then there are iconic people who've done great in their life, and we get inspired from there. And also, to that, my question is for Scindia. Where did you get the inspiration of Lead Her's podcast, and what is your major learning from that?
Okay, interesting question. So for me, when I was navigating the mid-career crisis, like when you start a family, when you're pregnant, when you get a lot of questions from your fellow colleagues, when you're threatened by your career growth, I always wanted some mentor or even some female fellow inspirations for me to learn from them who have gone through their journey. But unfortunately, I never had one. In those time of my career. So whenever I go and speak to a fellow colleague, they will be like, oh no, I think this is the time you need to take a break, or you should step down. You cannot lead a function. You should concentrate on a family. I never got to hear someone saying that, hey, I have done this. So it is possible. So this is what you have to do. Somewhat like in my community, I'm not able to come across that at all because I was a minority always in the workplace wherever I was. So that had this inner feeling always like, hey, at one point of time, I need to do something to bring out fellow women inspirations. So because I know there are people out there, maybe we are not able to reach them. So when the COVID started, I took that as a chance. So I started this podcast. The pure intention of the podcast is to celebrate women leaders like Anushree or Jyoti, just to for them to come and share their life, like how they have navigated the maternity or any career break, how they came back, how it is possible, how they have tackled some of their workplace challenges or how they negotiated at home. That is a very important thing today, right? How you negotiate at home and grow in your career. So I was fortunately able to bring a lot of, like, so far, like 27, 28 leaders we have interviewed. And that not only inspired me, a lot of fellow women, and I have got a lot of women pinging me and saying that, hey, I've got this inspiration from them. Now I gained that confidence. Maybe can I know more about this? Can you connect me with them? So that community, small community got formed, and that baby step we are taking. For me, the major 5 learnings I have to call out of Leaders Season 1. Now we are in Season 2, like 25 amazing women leaders I have interviewed. First is self-love. That is something like everyone, all of us lack, right? Self-love is, a lot of people thinks that I admire myself. No, you should not be hard on yourself, and you should learn to pat yourself. That is something I learned. And focus. You have to understand what you want. Anything it can be. It can be a homemaker. It can be YouTube reviewer, or you can be a technology marketer. Anyway, so, but learn to know what you want and focus on that, and break the barriers, whatever comes across that. You have hurdles even in video games, as the level goes higher, you will have more hurdles. So how you are breaking that makes the life more interesting instead of giving it up. So that is something, and looking back the journey you have come across, and how to put those learnings into action. So all this made me a great learner because of the Leaders Podcast. Whoever is watching also sure doing that. Now you're also trying the same thing to bring in women and making them to say. That's the inspiration, I would say.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I think while we interact with so many women, we learn from their journey. And in fact, one thing, so I have also kind of interviewed a lot of women while I've interacted with Anushree and Jyoti also specifically. One thing that we realize, that we see a lack of women in the leadership, which you also highlighted, right? And the whole challenges at the mid age, at the mid journey of their career, when they are about to take a next step in their career. There is a family that needs to be started, and then they get busy with that. So usually they have to take a break, or they're not able to move forward. So that was one of the challenges which I heard across all women that I spoke, right? They see a lack. And do you also see that lack? And why do you think we need more women in the leadership space, India?
So women leadership is not a new concept for us. So if you go way back, you will see a lot of queens, C. Velunachar, Jhansi Rani. It was never a new concept, but somewhat because of various evolution, the society has framed them like this. See, for any leadership role, how you judge or how you judge a candidate, you want a negotiator, you want a team manager, you want a conflict resolution manager, you wanted someone to build the team from the scratch. So all these things is a natural inborn quality of women. So take a homemaker. So how many things they have to manage, right? From planning for their kids' studies, what they have to eat, budgetary, ROI at home, how much, whatever the money is coming, how to make it happen, how to keep everyone happy, how to resolve conflicts between kid and father or kid and among kids. So this all are natural tendency, and also think of their multitasking ability. So they have to, a lot of COVID has proven, a lot of women are doing household chores as well as they were taking meeting. I have the technical experience. I do meeting while cooking, right? But I insist my husband also to do the same thing because it is same for everyone. So these kind of leadership qualities are inborn with it. And there is a study says, if you have at least, one woman for every 3 team members, then automatically the productivity of the team is higher, and it directly impacts the bottom line. If your company wants to be successful, you want leaders to build the team, then you have to have women, because you need not train them on all these qualities. It is their inherent qualities. Just need to give them the platform. It is up to the companies now. If they really need a qualified leader, please go and hire women leaders. So that's what I'll say.
Absolutely. Great. My next question is, which powerful women do you admire the most? And this question is for all three of you. So maybe we can start with Anushree, Jyoti, and then Scindia.
So I think I'm a technologist. I love Melinda Gates. I also look up to Priyanka Chopra. I find her as a great communicationist, apart from being an actor, dancer, singer, entrepreneur. I love the way she communicates across her ideas, and she's also standing for women. So I think both of them.
Awesome. Jyoti.
For me, none other than the Iron Lady of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi. Okay. The most powerful weapon she carried was her confidence and her speech.
Right.
So till date, no one is able to replace her. For me, she's the one most admired person.
So,
great. Scindia, yes.
For me, mother is my first inspiration always. So still I'm learning from her. If anything happens to me, if I go to her, I know she will have a resolution for that. So that is said and done for a lot of people. Mother is their first inspiration. Apart from that, Jayalalitha, late Chief Minister Jayalalitha, is my strong admiration because she went through a lot in her life. She couldn't, do what she wanted to do. She couldn't study, or she had character assassinations. She couldn't get a family on her own, which was her priority. She couldn't get that. But still, she navigated all the challenges. And she took that as a lesson and made better lives for a lot of people. Whatever said and done about her, and I admire her leadership quality. And every time, whenever a big thing happens, the way she comes back. And of course, Indra Nooyi also in the same way.
Right. Great. This has been a great conversation with all three of you. My one last question before we end today's panel discussion. Any advices that you would want to give, any learnings, best practice to women pursuing their career, not only in technology, but across different verticals? So any one piece of advice, maybe we can start with the same sequence again, starting with Anushree, Jyoti, and then Scindia.
Yes, there are many things where you can progress. Okay, as you said, it is not limited only to technology, but there are many things. So I would really advise, don't stop learning. Never stop learning, you should. There are many times when we take a break in our life, okay, after marriage, many things it comes. In fact, I also went for a sabbatical break of 5 years when my daughter was born. But that break I utilized to keep myself upgraded and never moved out of my passion. Recruitment is in my blood, while sleeping, getting up, everything I see only recruitment in my face. Okay. Right. I belong from a non-technical background. I'm a graduation in economics. So this is completely new field with 11 years of experience. Yeah. But I don't know, that passion has been inculcated. So I sleep with recruitment. I dream of recruitment. So I'm never going to live my passion. I always keep on upgrading myself. So that is what I want to, voice to every woman. Never leave your passion for anything. Right. No matter you get married, you sit at home, be active, be financially independent. Even though if you're not working, have your pocket money, get your pocket money. But that financial independence boosts the confidence. So that's my message to everyone.
Awesome. And I like the background that you've put, break the bias. I think this is the hashtag for 2022. Right. Yes. This is actually being followed. Great. Anushree, the same question. Any piece of advice that you would want to give?
So I personally follow this for myself, and I would recommend for all: be the integrity of your commitment, be it in any space you are, both personal and professional. Deliver what you say what you deliver, and things will open up for you. For me, peace is very important, both inside out. I'm a yoga practitioner and do meditation almost daily, because all of us have our outbursts, right? So we need to calm ourselves down. I believe in receiving love and emitting love. And that is the core of every woman, I feel. So if you are feeling loved and you emit love for everybody around you, then things also work for you. And regarding the gender bias, I would say it's there, but I think I don't give it any notice. And that's where it doesn't exist for me. So that's a little bit of advice. And I would really say that a woman doesn't need the support. I keep standing for women in every area of my life and would recommend every woman to do so. So thereby we are inspiring each other.
Right. Awesome. Scindia, the same question for you.
So it's almost like what Anushree and Jyoti said. Maybe like I'll go one step back. You can cover your feet with slippers rather than trying to cover the whole world with the carpet. So first and foremost, you need to know what keeps you happy, what keeps you running. That identification is the key phase in every woman, I would say. Yeah. So it can be like there is no wrong or right to be a homemaker, or you want to follow a different profession, right? So you pick up whatever you wanted to say, as Jyoti said. But the thing is, financial independence is the key in whatever you are doing. So keep yourself financially independent. In the process, identify your passion. It is very difficult for you to right away jump into the passion, or even to identify your passion. It's not easy at all, as they show in the movies. So while discovering that passion, in that phase, you need to keep yourself financially independent. You have to carve the path for that, and you should negotiate. As Anushree said, the change has to come within yourself. So if you want that and you want that to be happy, you need to sit and negotiate at your home first, and to make sure that you are pursuing that career. Whoever is going to love you, they are not going to say no to your happiness. So first, for that, the key is you have to identify your own happiness, what makes you to keep going. That's my advice to the people. Rest all will fall in place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. This is a great conversation. Thank you so much, Anushree, Jyoti, Scindia, for joining us today on CRU News platform and sharing your wonderful insights. I'm sure there is a lot of learnings that we could take away from this interview. And thank you once again. It's a pleasure to have you all. And I look forward to interacting with you all again.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Happy Women's Day to everyone.
Thank you so much. And be the women for the rise is my line.
Nice. Awesome.
Elevate each other, I should say. Elevate each other.
Nice interacting with Anushree and Scindia. Thank you so much, Khushbu, for providing this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.